Hi, I'm Hilary and this is my Women in Motion feature. One thing I love about Reiki is that there's no right or wrong way to perform it. Some people like to use crystals, some people like to use a hands-on approach. You can really use it a ton of different ways. One of my favorite things to do is actually distance Reiki and Reiki with animals. I find it to be, for some people, hands-onness can be a little bit overwhelming, but I feel like allowing somebody to relax in their own setting and then being able to do Reiki in my own space can provide just as much benefit as doing Reiki in person. I also like to use crystals. Crystals are newer for me, but if I'm not doing distance Reiki and I'm just doing Reiki on myself, I often do it before bed. It helps me sleep, it clears my mind, kind of calms the chatter, and it really provides a nice kind of wind down for bed. I know some people like to read before bed, and Reiki is just kind of my form of reading before I go to sleep. Sometimes I also use crystals. It's kind of your own personal preference. I was taught that crystals can be a way to amplify your Reiki, and as you progress through the different levels, you also learn symbols that can amplify the energy that you're channeling to somebody else. It just really depends on who you're learning from, who you're working with. I mean, some people are not comfortable with crystals, so it's really just kind of an individual preference for yourself and who you're working with. I feel particularly drawn to amethyst and clear quartz, so those are the stones that I typically work with more than others. Sometimes I place them on different chakras, sometimes I just place them in the room, but it's, for me, a way to kind of clear the energy, cleanse the space, and just make me feel overall a little bit more comfortable and centered when I'm feeling a little bit more distracted. Some people have a more formal approach to Reiki. I know when I was learning my first level, I learned specific hand positions and kind of an order to things. As I progressed through the different levels, I was taught that you can do something called intuitive Reiki, which is something I actually do practice. So instead of, starting at the top of the head and kind of working my way down the body, I like to focus on areas that I feel drawn to. So if somebody comes in and tells me, okay, I'm having a hard time, my stomach's been hurting, I might focus there, but I also might feel that maybe the energy needs to be directed somewhere else in their body to also promote healing in their stomach. It's such an individual process, and I try to really listen to whoever I'm working with. I think that's the most important thing, is that Reiki is not just for me. Reiki is really for everyone, and it's so important to me that whoever I'm working with feels like this is their experience and not just something I'm doing with them, for them, to them. This is a way for me to help people take control over physical ailments, anxiety, depression. I know personally it's really helped with anxiety. I tend to get, for some reason, super anxious before I go to sleep. And like I said earlier, it helps me calm my mind and just kind of settle my anxiety symptoms so that I can get a good night's sleep. It's been really life-changing for me. Thank you for listening to my story, and I hope Reiki can bring as much peace to your life as it's brought to mine.